You're on CYInterview.
I'm Chris Yannick, featured columnist Jay Bilstein is with me. Today we welcome back a past guest, creator of both WOW, the Las Vegas Spectacular, at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino, and his new show Extravaganza, which is going to be taking place at Bally's Hotel and Casino. Hanoch Rosenn is back with us today on CYInterview. Hanoch, thanks for being back with us today on CYInterview. How are you?
No, I'm good. Thank you for calling me.
Oh, well, we're happy to have you back on, Hanoch. You're such an interesting guy with so many different stories. I didn't get a chance to ask you back in December when we met you at WOW, the Vegas Spectacular's 1000 show. When did you know, as a longtime performer and producer, that you could do productions in Las Vegas?
Well, Las Vegas is like, for everybody, is like the city of shows. So to arrive to that city and to be able to present the show is a climax. You know, this is something that we all look forward to, creators all over the world, and that was a great adventure for me, which I learned with the time, and I was happy that we could put WOW in such a beautiful location in the Rio Hotel Casino and bring so many people and do 1,000 shows. And thank God we survived, and it's not so hard, it's not so easy, to survive when there's such a big competition. We won prizes, etc. And I hope that we will be back soon, like all the other shows in Vegas.
Well, after, you celebrated WOW, the Vegas Spectacular's 1000 show this past December, now you have decided that you want to have another show. This time it's going to be on the Las Vegas Strip, the production Extravaganza, which will take place at Bally's Hotel and Casino. What can you tell all of the Vegas enthusiasts, entertainment consumers, people who come here about your new show and how it's going to be different from WOW?
Well, actually, this is a kind of my tribute to the city. Coming to Las Vegas and as an outsider first. Like when I came like 20 years ago, and I walked around, I saw all the shows, all the beautiful things, all the atmosphere, the rhythm, and the 24/7 activities and all that. So I wanted to express my feeling to that city with all its beautiful and amazing and very special things, images, adventures. So I've built a story about someone who gets a one-way ticket to Vegas, and he finds himself in the center of the city, experiencing a roller coaster of events. Of going up and down, winning, losing, falling in love, seeing a beautiful showgirl, following her, going back to the old Vegas, the mob is taking his girlfriend, he sees the legends, Elvis and Michael Jackson and Marilyn Monroe, and it's all connected with holograms and effects and flying and acrobatics. And so this is my way to express my tribute to that city. As a matter of fact, it's like a 90 minutes of extravaganza, by colors, by dance, by costumes, by images, videos, to give the person that goes, because many times when you go to China, you want to see a show that reflects the Chinese culture. When you go to Spain, so you would like to see a show that will give you some of the very famous Spanish dance. I thought that Vegas, when you go to Vegas, maybe you're looking for the typical Vegas experience. So this is what I wanted to give, and this is what I tried to give to the spectator in this 90 minutes of roller coaster adventure.
And just to confirm, both WOW at the Rio and Extravaganza at Bally's will both be back in production once shows are allowed to resume. They will definitely be back here in Vegas.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are waiting for the minute, So, everybody thought in the beginning it's going to be like a few weeks, and now we understand it's going to be longer, but nobody knows how long it's going to take. But yes, we are ready. We are ready to start when it's possible. We're even ready to start with a fewer seats in the audience, to allow the social distance. Our show is a big show, is a big production, but we can do it even if the capacity allowed would be smaller. This is one of the advantages of our show, and hopefully the sign will be given soon. We have no idea when, but even if it will take longer, we have the patience. I'm sure that the audience have the patience as well. Some people with a lot of experience, like Macintosh, they said next year. They open the West End and Broadway next year. Well, even if it will be next year, we will be there. We'll be there strong, and the audience, I'm sure, will be so hungry to have this very special and unique experience of live entertainment. There's nothing to compare with that. I mean, films, video, TV, everything is amazing, but to experience a live entertainment show, this is something that we are missing so much, and there's nothing to take its place.
Being that you also have entertainment business in Israel, where you're calling in from today, how has the coronavirus impacted productions over there, and how is the country dealing with the pandemic overall, you think?
Well, in our country, that was a little bit strange or special. It was one of the first countries who closed the borders, and we really got very, very low numbers of cases and serious cases, etc. But then after a while, the economy was hard, and a lot of things were reopened. Maybe too soon. And among them was also the shows. So actually, I think that we were one of the. We have WOW in Israel for 20 years. We have WOW in Elat. This is a southern city with a theater of 600 seats, and I've been producing and directing something like 15 different productions during the past 20 years, and we had a production there. WOW to the Future is the name of the production, and we had been performing like for 2 months, and then the epidemic came, and we closed the show. The hotel was closed. Then the hotel, it's a chain of hotels, was open, and after like a month or something, they allowed to do shows up to 250 seats in a 500 or 600 or 1,000 seats theater to allow the social distancing, and we did like 2 weeks or something, and it was quite amazing. The reaction, the response of the audience was amazing. You could hear 250 people, in a 600 seat theater, but it sounded like 1,000 people. They were clapping, they were cheering. It seemed that they were really hungry for this live entertainment. But unfortunately, numbers of cases came up, in the country, and they decided to go back a little bit with weddings, with parties, with pubs, with, and with theaters. Of course, we were not so happy. We accepted it, and also it seemed that not so many cases came from theaters. So they did a survey, and they could see that a lot of cases came from buses, from schools, but not so many. Maybe 2 cases from shows, because you can control the distance. You bring the people in slowly, and you put them, this in this row, this in this. You allow a certain amount of people, and with the distancing and everything, but they have decided to close the shows until further notice. So that was sad, very sad, and we are waiting. All the artists are waiting, trying to do some other things and to be ready for the moment.
Jay.
Hanoch, you're in Tel Aviv. It's getting close to midnight there, proving you're obviously a very high energy person, because I suspect most people in Israel right now are either asleep or heading to sleep. But that's the kind of energy that drives the kind of shows you have, which brings me to a question. You have a variety of performers. We are in a very, very unique time, at least in the last 100 years in the world right now with the pandemic we're facing with COVID-19. What do you do? What can you do? Or what advice can you give to performers in general as to how to keep themselves going in the meantime? I mean, I'll say this quickly. I don't know what kind of economic support there's been in Israel. In the United States, there's been economic support by way of unemployment insurance with some added money on top of that. A lot of that is running out. Not the unemployment insurance, but the extra money is running out at the end of the month. You have people who have dedicated their lives to entertainment. All the entertainers in Las Vegas, Broadway, the West End in London, where you are in Israel, in Tel Aviv, a lot which I know well, beautiful, beautiful resort city. What do you recommend? What can you think of and say, hey, this is how we can sustain ourselves until we get to perform again?
You ask a very, very serious question, and it is very hard to decide how to do, what to do, how to wait. One of the problems is that you do not have a date. So it might be even easier to know, guys, it will take 10 months. 10 months it will take to go back to shows. Maybe it will be even easier, because then for the producers, for the guys who are doing new shows, for all the Christmas shows that are planned to be produced all over the world, in England, so many pantomimes. You know, my friends all over the world in circuses, they don't know what to do the show, not to start work on it or not. So first of all, I think and I hope that maybe the governors around can give us some kind of, I don't know, some kind of clue or some kind of idea. Guys, it's not going to happen before this day. We'll make it easier. This is one thing. But first of all, the artists in most places in the world do get support. Some countries who are the richest countries in the world give more support. The other give very small support. It varies. It varies from country to country. And that's it's sad to say, but it depends where you are at that moment. So there are some countries where they do not have enough economic to support no one, and the artists, of course. It seems that our profession is such a beautiful profession, but people say, well, first of all, we have to take care of our food, but sometimes the spiritual food is not less important, even more important, to keep the energy, to keep the optimism. So I think that soon and people do that. We have to find ways, to be online, to find other ways. We have done a lot of things, wow from home, extravaganza from home. So the artists did all kind of things from their home. We have a juggler that is doing plates. The amazing Victor Ponce, a world-famous juggler. So he did something for his home, doing with his plates, and they aired it in some TV shows. And we have, the skaters, amazing skaters. They did some skating from their backyard. So we did do some, messages from home, keeping in shape and trying to be ready for the day. What can I give an advice? I have to give this advice to myself as well. First of all, I would give an advice to try and stay optimistic, not to get depressed, to stay in shape, to be maybe inventive in other ways. To write new. This is the time maybe to invent new ideas, to be prepared for the moment. And just to survive there, to be ready for the time, for the moment. sometimes in history, things take time. Things take time. The pandemic 100 years ago, it took a year or even more. Thank God we're not in a war. So, there are wars that took even, 6 years, the Second World War, etc. So I'm sure that the entertainment business in that time was slower. Stay optimistic and try to be ready for the moment. Don't give up. Don't say, well, now I will give up my profession. It's not even possible for many people to do that. This is what they're doing all their life. Especially those circus people, that many of them grew up in a family of a circus from childhood. This is not what they know. This is what they know to do so well, and I think that they should try not to get depressed. To be there. And as producers, we are trying to help our people as much as we can. We did have some people that wanted to go back home, to be with their families, and we do have some others that wanted to stay and be ready for the moment. And that's it. We're going with them. We're trying to feel them. Yeah. So this is it. This is how I'm planning to be ready. To be ready with the show. To be ready with Extravaganza. It's a huge show. It's a big show, and we will be ready there to start it. All the set is staying in the theater. Everything is ready. The flying system, the lights, the LEDs, all the effects. Everything is there, ready to go. We did have one show. It was an amazing show. I'm so happy we did that show. We had the audience clapping and cheering, and I think it's very symbolic that we did one show, and we're ready to continue to do 1,000 and more.
Hanoch, one of the reasons I asked you, and you gave a very, very excellent answer, and I'm not surprised by the answer. One thing I would say, and I think this is an area that Israel can be a tremendous leader in, and this just came to me as you were speaking. We know, and it's been reported in the news and so forth, that there's been tremendous work coming out of Israel on vaccines and so forth, but I started thinking about the nature of life in Israel and the nature of challenge in life in general, and then the nature of challenge in life in Israel in specific. There have been challenges at times in terms of water, and Israel has created fantastic desalination plants. There have been challenges in Israel. You had mentioned and spoke about not having an end date. I don't know that there is an end date to terrorism per se, or an end date to historic animosity between peoples, or a specific end date to warlike conditions. And yet, Israel has been able to much more than survive, but to thrive. How is that mentality developed? Is that simply by living a life under certain circumstances, or is it something that's done every single day? If you could name 3 positive actions that a person takes every single day to keep going, to kind of break down optimism in action.
Well, first of all, it's good to know that we are seen like that from the outside. Everybody thinks that in another country or in another area they do better. And I did hear some of my producers' friends in Vegas saying to me, well, in Israel they will find a way how to survive this. That is true. I think that also when I came to Vegas to work with the with the industry, so I really had to learn the way you guys are doing it there, and indeed this is every place has its own system of production and things like that. So I would say that here it's a little bit some kind of it's like when you do have something that you have to do it. So you're looking for ways to do it and to succeed with it with all kind of how can I say? It's like a commando, like a work of a commando. So you're trying to be very inventive, very fast. If it doesn't work from this way, I'll try it from this way. Let's do it here, let's do that, let's do this. Sometimes it's a good way of thinking, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you have to do things very slowly, to take the time, and to do it right and not to improvise. So I think the solution, for me, is in between, somewhere in between. I learned a lot from the way that people are doing things in America, and step by step, and planning from advance and doing it the right way, slowly with a lot of people. Everybody is very specialist in his own way. Here in Israel, it's more like, you have to count on yourself and not so a big group of people, but more like counting on a very small group of people that is trying to do something and to succeed with that. So I would say that with this epidemic, one of the things that I feel about it that we became like a one society all over the world, which is beautiful. Everybody is dealing with the same problem. You want to reopen, but you're afraid to reopen too quick. So the economic press you to open, and the administration of health telling you no, wait. So, and people would like to party and would like to go, and then they forget their mask, and it's the same everywhere in the world. I just saw the pictures from London when they opened the pubs. I looked at that and I said to myself, well, they opened the pubs, everybody's so happy. Now it will happen again, like it happened now in Vegas, that they closed the pubs. So we are all in the same thing, which is there's something nice about that. We're one part of human beings, and to go back to our entertainment business, it is so interesting and inspiring to see how people are trying to learn from the other friends of them in other countries. So what happened in your country? Did they open the show? When do they think to open the show? There is a small circus in Italy that opened. It's a family circus. They allowed 100 people there. Oh, how was it? Well, they're doing a drive-through with cars. Oh, how did it go? Are the people happy with that? I mean, are they close enough to the stage? Is it working? How was the reaction? Did people come? You are asking everybody. It's like a networking of people, trying to learn from each other. What's happening there? I remember that I was speaking with a friend of mine that is in Macau. They were one of the first one who opened the big show of the Dragoni. And so I was asking him, how many people came? How was it? Whether they were with masks, not with masks? He told me how it was. So we are one group of people all over the world, and the networking is working even stronger because people are really trying to learn from each other. And this is a good thing. This is a positive.
Hanoch, as you're speaking, you're really giving away tremendous pearls of wisdom, and I think tremendous optimism for the future, because as you're speaking, I'm saying to myself, it's one human race. People want to be together. They need to be together for all the separation and polarization that the internet may create, because everybody gets in their little group on this social media platform or that social media platform, and maybe all different people with certain ideas congregate together and all. You're very, very right. You open a beach, everybody wants to be at the beach. You open the pub, everybody wants to be at the pub. You open a show, people run to the show, because human beings at the end of the day are still social animals. And one thing that Chris and I have talked about over the years is that one of the areas that we believe will never, ever go out of fashion, never go out of style, will remain very, very potent, is live entertainment. There's only so much you can gain from the experience of watching something on a screen, and today, everything is on a screen, right? You're either looking at a phone, or you're looking at a tablet, or your laptop, or a television set, or a computer, and so forth. So I think your words convey tremendous wisdom, and I believe in an economic context, that there is tremendous what is called pent-up demand for people to be able to mix once again. Hopefully this will be over sooner rather than later, but even if it's not, I believe that it's got to be a mix of an approach from the United States, a mix of an approach from Italy, a mix of an approach from Israel, and all the other countries of the world. Some things are going to have to be done step by step. Some things are going to have to be done on the fly, and I think you give keen insight into that. And as you're talking, I can understand why WOW is such a tremendous hit, both in Eilat and, of course, in Las Vegas.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Yes. Let's really. We're really waiting for the moment. We're really waiting for the moment. And indeed, there's nothing to compare to this gathering of people together. You know, if they're dancing in a tribe somewhere, you know, a few hundred years ago, thousands of years ago, they are going to the Greek theater and seeing the tragedy, and they are having their catharsis. And if they're going to a live show in Vegas, then they're so happy to see those amazing people doing unbelievable things, and they're getting uplifted when they see those things. And this is the moments that we all like to live for. And there's nothing to compare to that. And that's why I think, and I'm sure that people will have the patience to wait. And it happened already in history a few times. You know that Shakespeare didn't work with his theaters in the 16th century because there was the pandemic then, and then he started to write more poems than plays. So it took 3-4 years that the theater didn't work, but it came back. It did come back, so it will come back. We'll come back, and we will be back. We will be back.
We will be back. Certainly a great way to cap off that commentary, Chris.
Hanoch, very quickly in closing, just a quick response to recap. So you can open WOW and Extravaganza even if there was a 50% occupancy for attendance. You can still make that happen, unlike some other shows in Vegas who really can't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that we can even do that with even if they will allow only, I don't know, like a third.
Wow.
Because Jubilee is a huge theater. It's 1,000 seats. And,
yeah.
you know, everybody will help together to do it. You know, everybody will help to do that thing. And, you know, all the producers and the investors will even, you know, will wait, you know, to recoup and things like that. They just want the show to go on. So,
gotcha.
You know, to give work to everybody, the artists, to the crew, to all those people that are waiting to come back to the things they know to do so well. Indeed, we will be able to do the show with a fewer in the audience, and even for a few months, and then, you know, hopefully it will go bigger and bigger until the full house will be allowed.
Yeah, it's a great venue for sure. There's no denying that. There's a lot of history in that place. The Rat Pack performed there when it used to be the old MGM back in the day, and then last year we saw Dionne Warwick there a few times. Actually, it's a very nice setup, and it'll be a great one definitely for those productions. So for actor, show creator Hanoch Rosenn, featured columnist Jay Bilstein, and CYInterview, I'm Christian.